Alright, hello everybody, this is Devin of Defcon Economics, back again with another episode. This is episode number 8, entitled A Primer on Central Bank Digital Currencies, or CBDCs. So, what the heck is a central bank digital currency? Well, if you watched my fifth video, entitled The Absolute Ridiculousness of Fiat Currency and What It Leads to, you got a bit of a primer on what fiat currency is. So I decided to make this video because this is intended to be supposedly, and hopefully not, but supposedly, the next generation of fiat currency. So we're going to take a bad idea and move it on ahead into the next generation, which is always a good thing, right? Okay, well, let's just discuss this and get a primer on it. So let's go here to Investopedia, whom I use fairly frequently if you didn't know. So let's just read. What is a central bank digital currency? The term central bank digital currency, CBDC, refers to the virtual form of a fiat currency. Ah, they finally used it right. A CBDC is an electronic record or digital token of a country's official currency. As such, it is issued and regulated by the nation's monetary authority or central bank. As such, they are backed by the full faith and credit of the issuing government. CBDCs can simplify the implementation of monetary and fiscal policy and promote financial inclusion in an economy by bringing the unbanked into the financial system. Sorry about my reading on that last bit. Because they are a centralized form of currency, they may erode the privacy of citizens. CBDCs are in various stages of development around the world. Wow, that was a kind of like menacing way to end that off. So key takeaways: a central bank digital currency is the virtual form of a country's fiat currency. Wow, they are actually using it correctly. A CBDC is issued and regulated by a nation's monetary authority or central bank. CBDCs promote financial inclusion and simplify the implementation of monetary and fiscal policy. As a centralized form of currency, they may erode the privacy of citizens. Although they aren't formally being used, many countries are exploring the introduction and use of CBDCs in their economy, which means they are interested in eroding the privacy of their citizens. Let's just be honest. Okay, so I didn't want to read this entire thing, but when I read over it, I realized I had to. So, fiat money is the term that refers to currency issued by a country's government. It comes in the form of banknotes and coins. It is considered a form of legal tender that can be used for the sale and purchase of goods and services along with kinds of transactions. A central bank digital currency is the virtual form of fiat. I'm going to say currency. As such, it has the full faith and backing of the issuing government, just like fiat currency does. CBDCs are meant to represent fiat currency. The goal is to provide users with convenience and security of digital wow, that's not well sent for a well-structured sentence, and security of digital as well as the regulated reserve-backed circulation of the traditional banking system. I hope you're not mistaking my laughter because I think it's funny. I don't know how they don't hear the contradictions as they're talking or as they're writing these things. Of the traditional banking system, they are designed to function as a unit of account, store of value, and medium of exchange for daily transactions. CBDCs will be backed by the full faith of the issuing government, just like fiat currency. Central banks or monetary authorities will be solely liable for their operations. There's the kicker right there. There were 83 countries around the world pursuing CBDC development as of October 2011. Holy good lord. Their reasons for pursuing this venture varied. I'm just going to leave it at that for the Investopedia article. You know, I'm going to let people look at this, decide whether or not they think that sounds like a good thing, and if any government around the world has really even shown care for them. for its citizens. That's all I'm going to say. That's just questions to ask out loud to oneself. So to show you that I'm not just bringing something up on some Investopedia website, this is from MIT.edu, MIT DCI response to Bank of England CBDC discussion paper. Basically, the Bank of England was talking about creating a CBDC. Oh, Lord Almighty. It just discusses pretty much what I showed you. But here it says redesigning digital money. What can we learn from a decade of cryptocurrencies? And I really thought that was interesting. And this is why I kind of get a little upset with the crypto people when they're like, oh, this is the way out. Because what they don't seem to understand is that this right here is them kind of trying to let you know they're not going to let you out of crypto. So, you know, you can read it yourself. I don't want to jam pack this with too much, but yeah, there is one sentence to get looked at here. The wide variety of experimentation in cryptocurrencies is causing technologists and central bankers to rethink the interface to money and explore a digital form which can be held by users and companies directly. Really wanted that sentence out there in the world. It needed to be said. So understand that cryptocurrencies are being studied because they are going to be turned into, eventually, they will be subsumed or consumed by a CBDC. Likely at some point a global CBDC, because you don't need to print a CBDC, right? A central bank digital currency doesn't need to be printed. It's digital. They don't even want to have physical representations of it. So, I wanted to bring that to your attention and then go here. So this is the Bank of International Settlements. This is basically the banker's bank. So if you think of pretty much any bank, these guys are the clearinghouse, hence the Bank of International Settlements. They clear other banks. So let's read the foreword from this here, the Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructures, Central Bank Digital Currencies. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but we'll just read a bit. The history of central banking began with payment services. Since then, payment-related innovation has always been an integral part of central banking. Modern examples include the establishment of systems allowing for immediate interbank gross settlement and the recent increased emphasis on faster retail payment systems. Central bank digital currencies represent another such potential innovation. And it just goes on to say that they're providing an initial analysis, a high-level overview, and, you know, it's a whole lot of technical jargon, but there is something in here interesting. So let's go to the money flower. And, you know, you see here where they're just showing you this, right? And I just thought it was interesting that they're studying this basically based on one another or based on crypto. And so now let me draw your attention to federalreserve.gov. Central Bank Digital Currency, a literature review, an article on federalreserve.gov. The authors are hopefully I don't butcher this, Francesca Carapella, and I'm going to say Jean Fleming. Technological advances in recent years have led to a growing number of fast electronic means of payment available to consumers for everyday transactions, raising questions for policymakers about the role of the public sector in providing a digital payment instrument for the modern economy. From a theoretical standpoint, the introduction of a central bank digital currency, CBDC, raises long-standing questions relating to the provision of public and private money, Gurley and Shaw, 1960, and the ability of the central bank to use CBDC as a means for transmitting monetary policy directly to households. Tobin, 1985. The theoretical literature on CBDC to date relates to these questions by focusing on the effect of introducing a CBDC on commercial banks and on monetary policy and financial stability, and the resulting welfare implications. Policymakers have also taken a keen interest in these questions, among others, the Bank of International Settlements, and that's what we were just looking at. So, okay, I just, there's not much more really here. It just gets into a whole lot of stuff that really good Lord, like, I recommend go to Investopedia, just read that, see what you think. It's really not that hard to understand. And I have a video called The Absolute Ridiculousness of Fiat Currencies and Where It Leads to. You can watch it. It's a great video that kind of primes you on the difference between money and currency, and we look at definitions, we look at examples, we look at a couple different things. It is lengthy, so you know what? To learn, you got to watch a few things. Just throw it on, on a cold night. If you've got some cocoa, something like that, you just got the itch for info. Come on over to my channel and check it out. So, again, let's just really quick recap on those key takeaways here. A central bank digital currency is the virtual form of a country's fiat currency. Well, we looked at examples of that, right? So Investopedia is right. A CBDC is issued and regulated by a nation's monetary authority or central bank. Yep. CBDCs promote financial inclusion and simplify the implementation of monetary and fiscal policy. As a centralized form of currency, they may erode the privacy of citizens. Although they aren't formally being used, many countries are exploring the introduction and use of CBDCs in their economy. Guys, I wanted to do this because I wanted to prime everybody on the next big thing, and I didn't think there were enough smaller channels necessarily discussing it and kind of just showing what the heck's going on here. So, if you want to go try to slog through these things, man, and I mean slog, they are slogs, that's fine. So I made another video called Silver, a Currency Comptroller, and a Ticking Time Bomb. And I believe that was my third episode. Now, I'm bringing that up to bring this up. So this is www.banking.senate.gov, their newsroom. So this is a government site. This is November 3rd. It's old news, but it takes time to research, and I like to do lots of it. So, as you can tell, November 3rd, 2021, Toomey on Professor Omarova's refusal to turn over thesis on Marxism. What is she hiding? The U.S. Senate Banking Committee formally received President Biden's nomination of Professor Saul Omarova, I really hope I'm not butchering that name, for Comptroller of the Currency. Notably missing from her paperwork, however, is a copy of her thesis, Karl Marx's Economic Analysis and the Theory of Revolution in the Capital. On October 5th, 2021, Senator Toomey sent a letter asking Ms. Omarova to provide the committee with a copy of the thesis no later than October 13th, 2021, to allow the committee adequate time to translate and thoroughly review it. To this day, Ms. Omarova has neither provided a copy of her thesis to the committee nor provided any explanation of her failure to do so. All nominees within the committee's jurisdiction are required to provide their writings, articles, and papers. Unfortunately, Professor Omarova appears to believe she is exempt from these rules, said Ranking Member Toomey. In order for lawmakers to fully and fairly consider Professor Omarova's nomination to serve as our nation's top banking regulator, we need a complete picture of her policy positions. The fact that she recently deleted references to her thesis begs the question. What is she hiding? After President Biden announces his intent to nominate Professor Omarova in late September, committee staff reached out to both the nominee and the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency requesting a copy of the thesis. Neither Ms. Omarova nor the OCC agreed to share a copy with the committee in a timely fashion. Instead, the OCC said it would revisit the issue once her paperwork had been formally submitted to the committee. While the nomination has now been formally submitted, the committee has not received any indication that the OCC or the nominee will turn over the thesis. And it just continues to discuss, kind of a few questionable things. So I'm not going to, again, I don't like to say things for or about people, but what I do like to do is I just like to point out things from official sources that come directly from the government themselves, or banks themselves, or studies, or anything like that, and kind of get a discussion going around this kind of stuff. So, let's look at this one particular key takeaway. There's a saying that if you haven't done anything wrong, what do you have to hide? And there's nothing wrong really with that saying in theory, right? Like if your neighbor's a good person, if the people around you, are good people and they don't intend to take and steal and rob and cheat and all these good things, then absolutely. But there are some times in history, this is a proven fact, this is not conspiracy, this is not nothing like that, guys. This is proven fact that you can look for yourself, where things hit the fan. You know what I'm talking about. And during those times, you need to have an education on what's going on. And you've already felt inflation, this might possibly cause an insane amount of either hyperinflation or a massive detraction actually in the currency, because then they could just withdraw trillions, right, and send the dollar absolutely skyrocketing upwards. I don't know why they would do that, because if they sent the dollar skyrocketing upwards, it would tank the whole system. But long story short, I don't want to get into all the mechanics. The point of this video was to point out that our government is looking at a central bank digital currency. Now, I gave you a small primer on it. I looked at a couple different official sources for it. And then I discussed with you Miss Omarova's refusal to turn over her thesis, and that just in one of my videos I pointed out that she's being nominated to basically regulate the banks of the country. Now, if she's put in a position that also has access to a central bank digital currency, what else does she have access to, guys? So these are things we all kind of need to think about. We need to have discussions about as rational human beings and do our best to avoid shouting and yelling and being angry. I certainly am not. I'm simply interested in educating myself more and more and more on various topics, from physics to you name it. I just love to learn. And I thought I would share what a central bank digital currency is. I implore you to go back and watch my video, very important, the absolute ridiculousness of fiat currency and where it leads, and what it leads to, sorry. Please go back and watch that. You don't have to like, comment, subscribe, but just give it a watch. I don't think you'll be disappointed in the time you have to spend on it. So, without jabbering on any further or trying to convince you to watch that video, I just want to say thank you if you've stayed with me all the way through till now. Hopefully you did. Hopefully you got the whole picture on central bank digital currencies that I was trying to share with you. I feel like I really just kind of was trying to show you that it's not a joke, it's not a game, it's not something somebody talked about, it's real, it's been being studied for a long time. And someone like this, good or bad, may be put in that position, and she could be the nicest person on earth and maybe not, and we don't know. I urge you to type central bank digital currency into your preferred search bar and see what you find. So I'm going to see if I can end this before 20 minutes. Remember, you are a beautiful miracle of creation. Do not hate yourself, do not refuse yourself, but be disciplined, be kind, be thoughtful, be caring, take care of the people you love, have a good holiday season. I'm just going to keep on getting you guys good stuff the best I can, in information as much as I can. Please, if you like what you hear, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, post a comment, let me know what I need to do better. Do I need to slow down? Do I need to what? Just tell me. So having said that, guys, take care of yourself. This is Devin of Defcon Economics, signing off.